Developing now, major developments in an investigation into the president's son, Hunter Biden. He's reached a deal with federal prosecutors related to 2 minor tax crimes and 1 gun charge. That's according to new court documents filed this morning. He'll likely avoid any time behind bars. This is an investigation that began under former President Trump's time in office and is not tied to any broader investigation. So we're going to go straight to our congressional correspondent, Stephanie Liebergen at the White House. Stephanie, what do we know about the charges and any potential sentence?
Hey, Lauren, good evening. Well, let's start with those tax charges. In this case, it is 2 separate counts tied to Hunter Biden's taxes from 2017 and 2018. Both counts are for willful failure to pay taxes. In both cases, the charging documents say Hunter Biden failed to pay over $100,000 in income taxes for both of those years. Now, while that sounds like a big amount of money, the charge is actually a misdemeanor. So in this case, the maximum sentence is up to 12 months in jail. However, it is expected that Hunter Biden will get probation for those 2 tax charges. Now, the other charge, that one is a felony, and it's a bit different. In this case, it's a felony firearms charge related to Hunter Biden being an illegal drug user while being in possession of a firearm. There's also an element of that charge of that firearm being transferred over state lines. But in this case, it's not a guilty plea that was involved. Instead, Hunter Biden is getting what's called pretrial diversion. So basically, he'll be on probation for a set period of time. He'll have conditions spelled out that he will need to abide by. If he follows all of that for that period of time that's agreed upon, then the firearms charge, that felony, would potentially be completely dismissed from his record. I spoke with a former federal prosecutor earlier this afternoon who actually expressed some surprise not only at the types of charges that Hunter Biden faced, but also the sentencing agreements that went along with it. Take a listen.
This is a very good deal, though, for Hunter Biden. You don't typically see diversion. You don't typically see misdemeanors. I could tell you that personally. I put more than 1,000 criminal defendants in federal prison, and never once did I offer any of them diversion.
Now, as you mentioned, Lauren, these agreements, these 3 counts, the guilty plea and the pretrial diversion, should put an end, according to Hunter Biden's attorney, to the 5-year investigation that's been going on into the president's son.
And, at the open of our show, we heard a little bit about what President Biden had to say potentially about this case. Did he say anything more, anything from the White House on this?
Well, we've got that little snippet, that quote of, quote, "I'm very proud of my son." That is the first we heard from President Biden. He's at an event out in California today on AI. So that's the only thing we have on the record from the president or from that first lady. We did get an on-the-record written statement from the White House earlier this morning when Scripps News reached out. And in that statement, it just says, quote, "The president and first lady love their son and support him as he continues to rebuild his life. We will have no further comment." Of course, President Biden did later further comment, but not adding really much more to that statement. The White House has continued to keep its distance from this investigation, with press secretaries previously stressing that President Biden had nothing to do with the investigation. It was left up to the Department of Justice, the Attorney General Merrick Garland, to the U.S. Attorney in Delaware to decide how they wanted to proceed with the case. Hunter Biden's attorney said Hunter knows that it's important for him to admit responsibility from his mistakes, but he's hoping to move forward with his life and to continue on his recovery now, Lauren.
The White House keeping its distance and keeping it concise. Stephanie Liebergen at the White House, thank you very much.